Hi, welcome to Pictures, Noise and Words. I'm Hedgy.
I'm Paz.
And this is Veiled in Scarlet. This was recommended. It's a song called Atonement. And it's off this album called Atonement. This was recommended by Igor Mokin, who basically says another Japanese band of this style, because this was on the Devil Within video, will be veiled in scarlet, but they have a more neoclassical styling and are ridiculously rich in melodies. Ridiculously. So it's highly recommended, especially their latest, Atonement. And this is the interesting bit, but not the previous album that has a very odd singer, kind of whispered screaming. Whispered screaming.
I'm actually quite interested to hear.
I know, I want to go back and hear that one.
Screaming actually is.
All of these lyrics are like that.
The Devil Within one seems to have created quite a few recommendations.
Yeah, it does, yeah. And we didn't really like it. We didn't dislike it. We just struggled with the way it had been manufactured and put together from... Anyway, let's not get into that. So this is, anyway, yes, Veiled in Scarlet. I've not heard any of it.
Good cover.
Yeah, I like the cover too. Such a dying art. Let's not get into that. I really am going to sound old. Oh, I remember when we get your vinyl. The vinyls come back, but with big gatefold, and sometimes 3 opens up like into 3, and yeah. Anyway, that's a whole different thing. Here we go. Veiled in Scarlet, Atonement, Pop Pickers. From Japan.
It's all me over.
I have an opinion. You'll be surprised to hear, which is good, really.
Go on,
Otherwise, this channel wouldn't really work.
As you always go first.
I'll not go first.
Oh, do you want me to go? Oh, okay. Okay.
I think we're going to say the same thing.
Another Jackson guitars. Oh, they look fantastic.
They've sold at least 3 then.
Right, it was all right. I found the guitar was too loud in the mix, and I couldn't really hear what the drummer was doing. The singer was
bloody awful,
weak, and it felt like a bit of an afterthought, as if again, a bit like Guys, whatever we've done previously. It's the guitar player's band because the song came to life when he was doing his thing, and what a super player! Because just looked great that. The vocalist just seemed to be as if he just walked in from a party. I thought, can you do some shouting on this? And he wasn't particularly great. And I don't think the song was particularly catchy either. See, one thing that that other band we did, the melodies that Guys and some of the other similar bands we've had, like Disillusion and stuff like that, recently had, the melodies have all really been catchy and some of the riffs have been really good. And this just, compared to what we've just been listening to, came up, for me, just came up a little bit short. That doesn't mean to say it had its moments. The guitar playing was great, and some of the ideas were okay, but I think the singing let itself down a little bit, and the overall mix favoured the guitar player a little bit too much, maybe because it felt like it was his band. I felt harsh, but cool.
Okay. Yes. Anyway, see you soon. No. Yes, I liked the music more than you, I think. I didn't struggle with the mix as much as you seem to have. And in a way, I was kind of thinking, how can these guys play all this stuff and clearly know exactly what they're doing, but have a singer with no melody whatsoever? He just literally shouted in the same monotone throughout the whole thing, and even his little key change 3/4 of the way through didn't lift it whatsoever. He just shouted in the same monotone in a slightly higher key. And I honestly think that the singer ruined it, because there was nowhere for him to go. He just literally spat out his words in the same way all the way through. There was, and the person who recommended this said they're ridiculously, I've forgotten exactly, but strongly melodies, or I can imagine how if you listen to the album, musically maybe they are. Yeah. I thought that they had some, I liked the music, but the singer ruined it. He had no melody. He was just zero melody. It just all sounded like the same thing.
Like I say, it felt like a bit of an afterthought. We've got this tune. Let's just shove some.
Let's get some guy in who can make a noise.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was particularly good at the noise he was making. That's the thing. I don't even think I can't do that noise. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's good because he can. It just, if he was better at it, he would have made it more interesting. But it just, like I say, I just did not like his singing. But at least I didn't like it for reasons rather than just say I didn't like it.
But if you're writing a song, you give it to, even though the singer hasn't written the melody, a good singer will get as much out of what you're going to give them as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I give my songs to the singers that I use, and they make what I give them so much better because they had their own little inflections and their own little ideas and their own little.
And also, whatever you've given them, what it means to them.
Yeah,
has to come back, doesn't it?
And their own style, and this just feels like we need some sort of death metal style shouting over the top, and it feels like, can you just come in and a session musician's done it in half an hour, rather than actually gone away and think, right, what's the best I can get out of what I've just been given.
Yeah.
I agree. I think
if I had an album like that, it would wear me down by the second song.
I agree with the music. I think the music was okay. It wasn't the best we've heard recently, and I think yes, on that Scarlet, I thought it was all right, but I think the singer did let it down, and we've heard better examples of this type of stuff recently, and there are better examples out there, and it would be interesting to see what the previous singer was, if this is the new guy.
Yeah, he didn't like the previous singer with his whispered shouting.
Yeah. So an interesting one, and
perhaps it's the same guy and they just turned him up a bit.
and it's interesting because I am going to go back down to earth. I am going to look them up just for sheer curiosity value and see
what were the whispered shouting.
Because I'm convinced there's a better band in there than what we've just seen.
Right. Yeah, because like I said at the beginning of my bit of diatribe, how can those musicians that seem to be so good think that the vocals were good enough for the song?
Which makes it again suggest it's just been an afterthought.
And the fact that they've changed singer means it's not like it's the singer's band and he just got some musicians in. It's the other way around. So yeah. But the good news is the cover's quite good of their album. So there's that.
That's all right then. Good cover. I have bought albums on the strength of the cover. Hold them out in kit.
Yeah, it doesn't always work though, does it? So we gave that a bit of a kick in, and rightly so. So let us know what you think. And,
well,
I've got no apologies this time. It's just I was very sure about what I thought. That's the thing.
Anyway, it wasn't really, it was just a kicking in certain areas, because I think, like I said, there's something there, and I don't think we've seen.
I really would not want to hear more than one song sang like that. Yeah. I didn't really want to hear that one. So because it literally, the little flag went up in my head 3/4 of the way through. Went, oh, key change as he was singing, and it just didn't. It didn't change, nothing changed. He just went up a little and then just carried on shouting. And it was, it's like, there's nothing going on here.
It just shows you how much of an art shouting
is. Yeah. Giving it the black metal. It was sort of on the way to black metal, those vocals, weren't they?
So you get your mates or your parents going, it's all shouting, isn't it? It says, this is shouting. This song here.
Whereas this is singing in a harsh voice. Yeah. This is when Cookie Monster has taken singing lessons, and this is when he hasn't. Right. There you go. Thanks for recommending it. I'm sure you'll be. I'm sure you'll be back to recommend another one. Oops. See you soon.
See you now.
Bye.